Alright, let us begin. I feel like I guess we haven't covered the armies. So let's cover them. We have 4 Skaven Slave Spears, 3 Clan Rat Spears, 1 with shields. We have 2 Warp Grinders. We have the Blight Scabs Plague Monks. Wait, the Blight Scabs Plague Pack Plague Monk Sensor Bears, 2 Rat Ogres. We're going to have 3 Poison Wind Globadiers. We're going to have 2 Plague Claw Catapults. We're going to have 2 Assassins. We're going to have Slippery Rivalhide Talisman. No Assassin's Trophy on either of them, strange. We're going to have Gracier of Plague on top of that. Screaming Bale. I'm going to be bringing Vermintide, the dreaded 13th spell. Unholy Clamor. I'm also going to be taking a look at Scorch. Now, coming over here to the greenskins, we're going to be seeing 1 and 2 units of Gobos, 1 on either flank. Got Night Goblins, Orc Boys. So 3 Orc Boys, 2 Night Goblins. We're going to have 2 Stone Trolls and the Swamp Things once again. Oof. That's a fast variety. Now, for the remainder of this greenskin army, we're going to have some artillery too in the form of 2 Rock Lobbers. Aside from those Rock Loppers, the ranged forces will consist of 4 Goblin Spider Riders, 2 on the right flank, and a 4 Goblin Spider Rider Archer and a Wolf Rider Archer on the left flank. We're also going to have 2 Forest Goblin Spider Riders, 1 on either flank. For the leadership, we do see Giant River Troll Hag with Spirit Leech, nothing else. And then Grom the Paunch, he is going to be bringing the language of the boys. And that rounds it out. So, let's get to it, shall we? The connection looks good right now. Hey, Artemis Shanks, welcome to the stream. And yeah, good prize pool. Not as good as last season where I got it up to 1,000, but hey, I'm not made of money. Uh-oh, looks like it's gone a little bit slow here. Ooh. Goblobber is going to be throwing some boulders in. I think they're going to be targeting the Poison Wind Globadiers. Alright, Greenskin Skirmishers coming around the flanks. And it looks like the Poison Wind Globadiers are coming out to counter them, but Greenskin's moving well in advance of these guys getting into range, because I think if anybody's been watching the battles, if you let them get a volley off, it seems like those Poison Wind Globadiers just like magically throw things super far. Over here, Goblin Rock Lobbers targeting the Blight Scabs Plague Pack, I believe. Or no, looks hard to tell actually, but it looks like the Plague Claw Catapults are going to actually rout one of the Goblin Rock Lobbers already, possibly rout the other one, and just a few quick volleys too. Greenskins continuing to pepper the backline with their arrows. Looks like they may have been targeting Warp Grinders. I don't like that targeting too much since they do have that 70 armor. Stick with the lightly armored units like the Rat Ogres. There goes the second Goblin Rock Thrower. Over here, Yeah, play call catapults just absolutely outclassing them there. More expensive, so it makes sense. Hey, Wicked Science, 13 months of subscriptions with the wah. Thank you so much, my friend. That's really kind of you. Appreciate all the support, buddy. 13 months. It's over a year, guys. From Punch, pulling away from these rat ogres. Play-claw catapults. Firing away. In come the Swamp Things. They do have terror, so keep that in mind. We have Orc Boys diving in to support them too. Oh, wow. The Gracier got hit with his own Play-claw ammo. Over here, Warp Lightning looks like it's coming down. Oh no, just kidding. It's the dreaded 13th spell. And it's going to devastate the Orc Boys on the explosion. And now the Swamp Things are stuck here in a seismic snare. There's halberds behind them. Bad guys in front of them. Down go the Swamp Things. Suddenly, this Skaven build coming out with a bang as soon as the Greenskins come in to close the engagements. However, on the right flank, things are going a bit better for the Greenskins. They were netted in place, but you do see that the Stone Trolls are full health. Night Goblins and Orc Boys are full health, and they're pushing into the Skaven backlines. Over here, Greenskins continue to harass the Skaven from the rear with missile fire peppering away. Poison Wing Globadiers throwing their rounds at the Stone Trolls now, desperately trying to shut them down. We have the Loons going through the Blight Scab's Plague Pack and continuing through just this densely packed Skaven formation. And, man, balance of power dead even, guys. This is quite a fight we have on our hands. Over here, the Swamp Fangs still have 11 models. They're getting targeted by the Play-claw catapults. But I think they might be coming back here, and they have plenty of room to regenerate. Stone Trolls looking like they may be getting routed. Yep, there they go. Rat Ogres in the mix. Grom the Paunch in here, but I mean, what does he have supporting him besides some goblins? I don't know. This could go either way. This battle is so close and so well fought to both players. And just look at the micro. I mean, look how much they have to manage. This battlefield is just spread from heck to breakfast. And here in the box, though, the Skaven seem to be remaining firm. Just basically dominating because of their hero squad in the center here, just revolving around the Rat Ogres and the Warp Grinders. Double Assassins going in on top of the River Troll Hag. If they can deal with this River Troll Hag right now, that could bring it into Skaven's favor. But as you can see right now, the Greenskins starting to pull ahead in the balance of power as we see Trolls regroup and start coming back towards the battlefield. Play-claw catapults, though, doing a good job of keeping them routing, keeping their leadership wavering. What's going to happen from here, though? But right now, look at this. A lot of wavering Skaven in the center. The Assassins look like they're going after Grom now. I really would prefer to see them to stay on top of the River Troll Hag. We do see the Gracier Plague getting Spirit Leeched by the River Troll Hag, but now Stone Trolls are routing. But the balance of power continuing to go further and further into the Greenskins' favor. Skaven have lost a ton of value here. Look at this, though. Grom starting to take some big hits from the Assassins. He's going to have a hard time removing himself. He has artillery on one side of him, the Gracier in front of him. But, oh, looks like he's just going to be able to get out of there. Going down to half health, though. But now it is the River Troll Hag's turn. Warp Grinders countering these Swamp Things. Assassins continuing to chase down the River Troll Hag. They have Slippery on now, increasing their speed and their defense. Over here, Gracier of Plague just fighting with the Orc Boys. Looks like we have another summon of Storm Vermin coming into the field, and Orcs are going to be running away from them. Assassins chasing down the Swamp Things now. The Greenskin artillery is unopposed, though. Alright, there goes Seismic Snare. Grom is pinned in place. The Assassins need to stand up, though. Over here, in comes the Gracier of Plague, hitting the Swamp Things in the rear. Grom the Punch, getting low on health, but the balance of power, as I said earlier, is still squarely in favor of the Greenskins, and this Halberd summon is running out of time. It's about to just disappear from existence. Oh, and there it goes, and now the balance of power is so far against the Skaven. It is insane. Alright, Swamp Fang's getting eliminated, though, by the Assassins and the Gracier. Goblin Rocklobber is going to continue to fire away, though, and just chip away at the Gracier's health. And I don't know if CNR can pull it out of here. Good thing for him, he has eliminated pretty much all of the trolls, except for some tattered stone trolls with 5 models back there. But the River Troll Hag is alive and well, and going to be doing a lot of damage with the Spirit Leeches, depending on how much she has in terms of Winds of Magic. Alright, so Skaven opting to chase after these units. They have to fulfill the attacking rule, which they're doing by trying to get in combat. Greenskins are going to be pulling away from them, though, making that chase effort an effort into futility. Over here, Greenskins going to successfully rout off the Plague Claw catapults, and we'll see what happens. But I mean, as the battle continues, you got to just remember River Troll Hag regenerating, Grom regenerating, Skaven units not so lucky. We also have these artillery pieces coming into range, and the Greenskins can honestly just sit back on their artillery and shoot these guys to death. I mean, the Assassins probably won't be easy to target with artillery, but everything else here is fair game, including the Gracier, as we've seen. Full health goblins, I think the Skaven can deal with without too much of an issue, personally. And there goes a Scorch. Oh, going to do some decent damage. Into the full health goblins they go. Going to see that seismic snare going down here. Maybe premature, considering there's not really, you know, any serious need to pin these goblins in place. Might have want to save that for Grom, but at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter. There goes the Spirit Leech on top of the Plague Priest. The Assassins are all by their lonesome, and there go army losses kicking in. And BM Evenstar are going to take the first victory. Rocks. I mean, well played to both players. Skaven, I think, were in a pretty strong position there for a while. And they got some really impressive routes going on the Trolls, but at the end of the day, they just weren't able to hold it together. And then in the late game, I mean, really, Goblin Rocklobbers came back and I don't want to say he completely won it for him, but they did a ton of work for him. These two Goblin Rocklobbers just targeting the Plague Priest. He has such a huge hitbox that these guys can actually do some good damage against him. Beyond your comprehension. Sorry, guys. I spent way too long here. Let's go ahead and cover the armies. So, for our red player, VM Evenstar, we're going to have the Tide of Skilled along with 3 other zombie deckhand mob. No, 4 other. So we have a total of 5. Now, don't worry, there's plenty more infantry to go, and it's going to be 2 Sirens on the left flank and 2 on the right flank for a total of 4. We're going to have 2 Fellbats up in the air. Then we're going to have a Death Shriek Terrorgeist down on the ground for a hero. We're going to have a Vampire Fleet Captain, Invocation from the Heck, Van Hell's Dance Macabre, along with the Zombie Summon, Taunt, and Power Stone. And also up in the air on his Death Shriek Terrorgeist, we have Luther Harkin with Hornswaggle and nothing else. Going over the vampire count army, I'm trying really hard not to reply to the chat because I'm really cracking up looking at the comments. I just want to engage in conversation. But we have a tournament to get through. Scurvy Dogs vanguarded up on the far right. For the rest of their army, we are going to have some glorious units indeed. Zombie Pirate Deckhand Mob with Polearm. Looks like we have 3 of them and then 4 of just the regular Deckhand Mob. got 1, 2, and 3 handguns, along with the Shade Wraith deck gunners being brought by Chosen of the Norns. He is also going to have some significant ranged power here in the form of 3 carronades. Leading this army from the front, we have the Gallows Giant. I love you, Gallows Giant. One of my favorite models in the game. It's just too cool. For the leadership here, let's see who we've got. Looks like a Vampire Fleet Admiral with a pistol in the lore of vampires. So kind of a nice counter to Luther Harkin here, since he has a ranged, or she has a ranged attack too, to attack him with. She's going to be riding that crab into battle, give her some mobility and a little bit more tankiness. Now, spell loadout, we do have the Black Parafat, which isn't a spell, sorry, All Hands Away, Gaze of Nagash, Invocation of Nahek, and the Drowned Dead. A person riding a beer Viking. Alright, silliness aside, here is the battle. We indeed have a rush build versus a ranged build. So this should be interesting. Clearly, Evenstar's job is to crack this formation, just like the nut it is. You can see a very round, kind of shaped like an almond almost. And so we'll see if our rush build coming in here from Evenstar can overcome the ranged power of Chosen of the Norns. My hunch is quite simply that the gap will be closed and Chosen of the Norns will be overwhelmed. That is my bet up front. However, I've been proven wrong, and I love to be proved wrong, so let's see what happens from here. Evenstar playing it patiently. You can see, looking at the overview of the map, he has just gone ahead, set his sirens here as close as they need to be for now, while the rest of the army moves forward, and he hit them in the forest so they can't get targeted by cannonballs. These guys are as far away from the other cannonballs as possible. Looks like they're going to be taking a long round approach so they can come through the forest and avoid a lot of that incoming fire, either by using the tree cover to block the shots or using it for concealment purposes. These deck droppers, yeah, Fellbats in the center moving forward, and in the back lines you just have the other 2 Fellbats and the Deathstreak Terrorgeist just, kind of flying around in a harassment formation while everybody gets into place. Vampire Fleet Captain, not sure if she's forgotten. I think it's very much intentional because there is 3 carronades on the field, and Evenstar clearly wanting to save this unit for the late game and not waste her against a bunch of artillery. In comes some flamethrower action from the Gallows Giant, and these guys are going to be crumbling. Switching up targets to fire into the other zombie pirate deckhand mob. And each one of those volleys pretty much sending them down to critical binding, and then by the second one going to crumbling. So getting a lot of damage done. Obviously, we'll want to see that. It doesn't do magical damage, so we'll see how even Chosen of the Norns reacts to these sirens, because to me that's going to be the big problem here, is like, how do you get rid of these sirens? Luther Harkin doing a breath attack and now charging into the Vampire Fleet Admiral. Deathstreak Terrorgeist taking a lot of cannonballs to the face for a moment there, but now they're closing the gap. Over here, Luther Harkin taking a ton of damage. Not enjoying life at all. He got shot in the back by that Gallows Giant, I believe, and that's going to hurt. Also have to remember Mr. Luther Harkin, who for some reason I cannot select right now, has regeneration. So he, unlike a lot of the other Vampire Coast units like Death Guard, does have a weakness to fire. So the Gallows Giant can do a ton of damage there very quickly. Same with this Deathstreak Terrorgeist. Has regeneration. The Gallows Giant is actually proving to be very, very useful here. Evenstar pushing forward as quickly as he can. Does look like the Tide of Skuld is going to get into combat now too. And the Sirens obviously going to be winning decisively in their engagements across the field. But Shade Wraith Gunners are there to do some magical damage. And you can just see as they open up their fire into here, doing a ton of damage. thank you very much for the donations. And I'm not sure if it's for the World Cup or not, but I'll check the message after the stream. So thank you for the donation either way. It's appreciated. Now, looking around the battlefield here, you can see the carronades are still online, which is a big problem for Evenstar. Having these carronades firing away at his lord is proving to be very painful. And then look at that. Just the Gallows Giant just like stuffing the cannon barrel into the Death Street Carragheist and just giving it a nice roasting. He's still full health right now, chat, but balance of power is very much going in favor of Evenstar, as you can see up here at the top of the screen. Death Street Carragheist getting shot by cannons and by handguns, but looks like the cannons are about to go silent here. We have sirens on top of two of them. Only one of them is unimpeded, and right now, as I say that, I'm lying to you, because Luther Harkin is on top of this cannon, very much impeding it. In come some more of the sirens. And it looks like Evenstar has been able to close the gap with his Vampire Fleet Captain too. Invocation the Heck upgraded going down, healing up a lot of this Vampire Coast units. And it looks like Evenstar's rush is going to pay off. But a huge shout out to Han, Chosen of the Norns, for some beautiful games. Glad he was able to get connected here after some connectivity issues initially. And best of luck to Evenstar as he moves forward to the second, third place match. And the barman, hello. Beautiful boxes. Gallows Giant, I love it, and got a ton of damage there, surprisingly enough. And I like this build. I'm not against it. I do think my problem with box builds and ranged components like this is kind of simple. And this is my philosophy on it, and maybe I'm wrong, but to each their own. I know, especially regionally, different metas have taken hold, and so different factions are considered top tier or bottom tier and so forth. This meta, being prevalent in the, Eastern Asian regions, and seeing just like the box with heavy range to me is counterintuitive. And to clarify why I think it's counterintuitive, I believe it's counterintuitive because the whole point of like getting max value out of your ranged combat is spacing and avenues of fire, in my opinion. The reason for that is you never want a build with heavy ranged where once the enemy has closed the gap, they can shut down all of your ranged units at once. And when you're in a box formation, that is exactly what you let them do. Now, it's a trade-off, because obviously the more separated you are, the harder it is to defend individual units. But if you're going heavy ranged with a faction like the Coast, I think it benefits more often than not, if you're going heavy ranged, to space out a bit. Have avenues of a fire pre-planned, and have defense in layers. So have your ranged units staggered behind each other, so when one line gets engaged in melee combat, the people behind them can continue firing away and supporting them. That box formation with that kind of playstyle, to me, doesn't make sense. The Gallows Giant works wonderful in a box, as you just saw, because he has short range, and that's kind of what he's there for. But 3 carronades stacked next to each other, 3 handguns, and a deck gunner, all stacked right next to each other, to me just doesn't work out well. It gets some initial bang and shock value because of the damage they'll do to, like you saw, the Death Street Terrorgeist to Luther Harkin. But then as soon as that initial shock and awe is over, it's just like, well, now what? You have 4 sirens on top of you. And then it's over. So, great games. Han CNR, best of the luck in the next season. And congrats on getting 4th place. And let's go ahead and see who can get 2nd place to proceed. Well, not 2nd place, who can beat the next player. So the next player will get 3rd place, and then that player will go fight Falcon in the championship.